The night shift at Luna Base was usually quiet. Most of the time, Commander James Miller spent his hours watching the endless stream of data from deep space monitoring stations while sipping coffee that never tasted quite right in the moon's low gravity. But tonight was different. "Sir, you need to see this." The young operator's voice cracked with excitement. "The quantum arrays are picking up something unusual." Miller pushed away from his desk, letting his chair glide smoothly across the polished floor of the command center. The massive screens covering the walls displayed the usual mix of radar signals, radio waves, and other cosmic background noise that humanity had grown used to monitoring. But there, hidden in the static, was something that definitely wasn't natural. "Show me," Miller ordered, leaning forward to study the pattern. The operator's fingers flew across the holographic keyboard. "It's encrypted, sir, but the pattern is too regular to be random space noise. We're looking at an artificial signal." Miller felt his heart rate increase. After 15 years of commanding Luna Base, he had seen his share of false alarms. But this was different. The signal pulsed with a mathematical precision that screamed artificial intelligence. "Wake up the analysis team," he commanded, "and get me a secure line to the United Earth Defense Council." Within an hour, Luna Base was buzzing with activity. The analysis team worked frantically to decode the signal while Miller briefed the council. The large conference room, usually empty during the night shift, now held a dozen holographic projections of Earth's most powerful military and civilian leaders. "Ladies and gentlemen," Miller began, "at 300 hours Luna Standard Time, our deep space monitoring stations detected an encrypted transmission. Initial analysis suggests it contains coordinates pointing to an object in the Kuiper Belt." The council members exchanged worried glances. General Thompson, a stern-faced woman with gray hair, spoke first. "Commander Miller, are you certain this isn't another false positive?" "The signal contains prime numbers in sequence, General. It's definitely artificial." "Then it's time," announced Council Chairman Robert Davis. His hologram flickered slightly as he turned to address the entire group. 30 years ago, we detected the first signs that humanity was being watched. Today, we finally have proof." The room fell silent. Miller had heard rumors about this, but never anything concrete. The chairman continued, "For 3 decades, we've known that alien civilizations were studying us. We found their probes disguised as asteroids. We tracked their stealth satellites, but we never let them know we'd noticed." Displays around the room lit up with classified images, strange objects moving against the stars, energy signatures that defied normal physics, and blurry photographs of devices that were definitely not of human origin. Instead of announcing these discoveries, the chairman explained, "We prepared. Every major technological breakthrough of the past 30 years has been carefully measured in its public release. The world thinks we're just beginning to explore our solar system. In reality, new images appeared. Massive underground bases on Mars, automated defense platforms hidden in asteroid fields, and weapon systems that the public couldn't even imagine." Miller felt a chill run down his spine. The scale of the deception was incredible. "Commander," the chairman said, "your discovery tonight changes everything. These coordinates they've sent us, it's an invitation or a trap. Either way, we need to know what's out there." "I'll prepare an expedition immediately," Miller responded. "No," General Thompson's voice was firm. "We stick to the plan. Let them think their transmission was only partially received. Send out a small research vessel, something civilian grade. We'll have our real forces following in stealth." The council members nodded in agreement. After 30 years of preparation, humanity wasn't about to reveal its true capabilities at the first alien contact. As the meeting ended and the holograms faded, Miller stood at the window of his command center, looking out at the stark lunar landscape. Somewhere out there, among the stars, someone was watching. They probably thought they were observing a young, naive species just beginning to venture into space. They had no idea that humanity had seen them coming, had been preparing, had been waiting. Miller smiled slightly as he watched Earth rise over the lunar horizon. Let them think we're primitive, he thought. They'll learn soon enough. The game had begun. Colonel Anna Roberts stood at the entrance of Mars Base Alpha, watching the dust devils dance across the red planet's surface. Behind her, a group of Earth Defense Council members adjusted their environment suits, still unused to moving in Mars' lower gravity. Ladies and gentlemen, she announced through the suit's communication system, welcome to humanity's best-kept secret. The airlock doors slid open with a soft hiss. As the group walked inside, the council members fell silent. Instead of the small research station shown in public news broadcasts, they entered a massive underground complex stretching for miles in every direction. What you're about to see has taken 30 years to build, Roberts explained as they walked down a gleaming corridor. The public thinks we're still working on our first Mars colony. The truth is different. The first bay doors opened, revealing rows of sleek spacecraft unlike anything shown to the public. Their dark metal surfaces seemed to swallow light, making them hard to focus on directly. Stealth vessels, Roberts said proudly. Powered by fusion drives, equipped with quantum shielding, and invisible to any known form of detection. We have a fleet of 300. 300. One of the council members gasped. How did we hide this from the public? Roberts smiled inside her helmet. The same way we hide everything else. Project costs buried in public infrastructure budgets. Construction disguised as mining operations. It's amazing what you can do when the whole world's governments work together. They moved deeper into the facility. The next section made even the hardened council members stop in their tracks. Stretching into the distance were thousands of metallic spheres, each about the size of a car. Project Guardian, Roberts announced. AI-controlled drone swarms. Each sphere contains 10,000 smaller units. They can form into any shape we need. Weapons, shields, repair systems. The aliens think our AI technology is primitive. They're wrong. The tour continued through weapon development labs, biological research facilities, and command centers that could control military operations across the entire solar system. Everything humanity would need to defend itself. But this, Roberts said, stopping at a massive blast door, this is our greatest achievement. The door opened to reveal a chamber larger than any they'd seen before. In its center floated a sphere of pure energy, shifting colors like a soap bubble in sunlight. The quantum core, Roberts explained. Unlimited clean energy. We leaked hints about fusion power to make our enemies think that's the best we have. This is our real power source. There's one under every major city on Earth. A council member stepped forward. Colonel, all of this, how many people know it exists? Less than 1,000 worldwide, Roberts replied. Every person who knows is carefully chosen, their loyalty tested over years. The public thinks these are mining bases, research stations, or automated factories. Even most of our own military doesn't know the full extent. She led them to a final room, the Strategic Command Center. One wall showed a real-time map of the solar system, with thousands of hidden defense platforms marked in glowing blue dots. We've turned every asteroid belt into a defensive line, Roberts explained. Weapon platforms disguised as rocks. Sensor arrays hidden in comets. Early warning systems that extend beyond Pluto. And the aliens haven't detected any of this, another council member asked. Roberts shook her head. They see what we want them to see. Old-style chemical rockets, primitive satellites, radio transmissions, and basic computers. They think they're watching a species just learning to crawl into space. She turned to face the group. Their message, the one they sent to Luna Base. They think they're dealing with an easy target. A young civilization they can intimidate or conquer. But humanity learned its lesson from history. It's better to have weapons and not need them than need weapons and not have them. As they prepared to leave, Roberts looked one last time at the massive facility around them. 30 years of preparation, all hidden from humanity's own people. The deception had been necessary. They couldn't risk the aliens intercepting any hints of their true capabilities. "We're ready," she said quietly. "Let them come. Let them think we're primitive." The moment they realize their mistake will be the moment it's too late. Outside, the Martian wind continued to blow, hiding all traces of humanity's greatest secret beneath its endless red sand. Dr. Tom Walker hadn't slept in 2 days. The screens in his lab at Europa Station glowed with endless streams of alien code, casting blue light across his tired face. Coffee cups littered his desk, though the station's artificial gravity never quite made Earth drinks taste right. "Got something," he called out, making the other scientists rush to his station. "The encryption is breaking." Europa Station hung in space near Jupiter's ice-covered moon, officially listed as a simple research outpost. In reality, it was one of Earth's most advanced decryption facilities, hidden beneath layers of ice and secrecy. The first decoded symbols appeared on the main screen. The room fell silent. "It's not good," Walker said quietly, his fingers moving across the holographic keyboard. "Not good at all." The message began to take shape in Earth English. Asterisk to the developing species of Sol 3. Earth asterisk. Asterisk, your world has been monitored and evaluated. Your resources are required for the continuation of the Greater Galaxy Alliance. Surrender your planet and submit to relocation, or face immediate extinction. You have no technology capable of resisting. Your species will be preserved in designated habitats asterisk. Asterisk, you have 30 Earth days to respond asterisk. "There's more," Walker said, his voice growing darker. "Much more." As he decoded deeper layers of the transmission, hidden data revealed itself. Star maps, coordinates, records of other civilizations. "Look at this," he pointed to a section of the data. "They've done this before. Many times." The screens filled with images and records of other worlds. Other species. All conquered, their populations relocated, their planets stripped of resources. Admiral John West, the station's commander, stepped forward. "How many?" "At least 15 documented cases," Walker answered, scrolling through the data. "They find developing worlds, worlds just starting to reach into space. Then they strike, always with the same pattern. First the ultimatum, then the attack." "But they don't know," West said, a slight smile forming on his face. "They have no idea what we really are." Walker nodded, still studying the data. "They think we're primitive. Their scans show exactly what we wanted them to see. Basic rockets, simple satellites, early eye. They didn't detect any of our real technology." "What about their own capabilities?" West asked. "Can you tell what we're really facing?" Walker pulled up more decoded information. "Their ships use basic faster-than-light drives. Energy weapons we've already developed countermeasures for. Nothing we haven't prepared for." He paused, finding something new in the data. "Wait, this is interesting. They've never failed. Every civilization they've encountered either surrendered or was destroyed. They're overconfident." West walked to the station's observation window, looking out at Europa's icy surface below. 30 years of hiding our true capabilities. 30 years of letting them think we're helpless. And now they're walking right into our trap. "Should we send a response?" Walker asked. West shook his head. "Not yet. Let's play this carefully. We'll send confused signals, partial messages, make them think we're struggling just to understand their transmission." "Sir," one of the junior analysts called out, "I found something else. They're already moving. Long-range sensors show a fleet gathering at the edge of our solar system." West's smile grew wider. "Right on schedule. Send word to Earth Defense Command. Tell them Operation Hidden Shield is now active." As the message was sent, Walker looked at the alien ultimatum again. These beings had conquered so many worlds, destroyed so many civilizations. They thought Earth would be just another easy victory. They had no idea they were about to face something entirely different. Their message says we have no technology capable of resisting, West said quietly. I think it's time we showed them how wrong they are. Outside the station, Jupiter's massive form filled half the sky, its eternal storms raging silently. Somewhere out there, an alien fleet was preparing to attack a seemingly defenseless Earth. They were about to learn that appearances can be deceiving. Captain Mark Hayes stood in Earth's main defense control room, watching as thousands of dots moved across the giant holographic display. Each dot represented a piece of humanity's hidden military might, now being carefully positioned throughout the solar system. Status report, he ordered, his voice calm despite the tension in the room. Stealth satellites deployed at 90% of planned positions, his second-in-command reported. The aliens still think they're just seeing normal space debris. The room buzzed with controlled activity. After 30 years of preparation, the Earth Defense Force was finally moving into action. On the surface, the world appeared normal. Below ground, everything was changing. Civilian evacuation status, Hayes asked, turning to another screen. Moving exactly as planned, sir. The public thinks it's just another disaster drill. All major cities are quietly moving their populations into the underground shelters. We're calling it Exercise Global Shield to avoid panic. Hayes nodded. The shelters had been built decades ago, disguised as subway extensions and underground shopping centers. Each one could support millions of people comfortably for years if needed. A new alert flashed on the main screen. Sir, called out one of the operators, quantum shield generators are now at full power in all major cities. They're masked as power plants, just like always. Hayes allowed himself a small smile. The quantum shields were humanity's greatest defense, energy fields that could protect entire cities. The aliens would expect to find helpless targets. Instead, their weapons would hit barriers they couldn't even detect yet. What about Project Guardian? He asked. Another screen lit up, showing massive swarms of tiny drones hidden throughout the asteroid belt. All drone clusters are in position, sir, ready to activate on your command. The drones were barely visible, each one smaller than a car, but carrying enough firepower to take down a battleship. Millions of them waited silently in space, disguised as ordinary rocks. Sir, a young operator called out suddenly. Long-range sensors detect the alien fleet crossing Neptune's orbit. They'll be here in less than 48 hours. Hayes pressed a button on his console, opening a channel to all Earth's hidden bases. This is Captain Hayes to all commands. Operation Hidden Shield is now in final phase. I repeat, final phase is active. Across the solar system, humanity's forces continued their careful positioning. In Mars Base Alpha, Colonel Roberts supervised the launch of the stealth fleet. At Luna Base, Commander Miller coordinated the orbital defense networks. On Europa Station, Dr. Walker tracked the approaching alien ships. Status of the civilian response? Hayes asked. Working perfectly, sir. Social media is full of confused discussions about the disaster drill. No one suspects the real reason. This was perhaps their greatest achievement, keeping billions of people calm while preparing for humanity's greatest battle. The public would only know the truth when they were safely underground, and the fighting had begun. Message from Earth Defense Council. Sir, an operator announced. They've approved the final deception protocol. Hayes nodded gravely. This was the riskiest part of their plan. They would let the aliens get close, very close, before revealing humanity's true power. It meant some damage to Earth's outer defenses, but it would draw the enemy into a perfect trap. Sir, look at this, called another operator. On the screen, they could see the alien fleet's formation. They're not even trying to hide their approach. They really think we can't detect them. 30 years of playing primitive, Hayes said quietly. 30 years of letting them think we're helpless. And they fell for it completely. He looked around the control room, at the men and women who had trained for years for this moment. None of them had ever expected to fight an alien invasion. But here they were, ready and waiting. Send the final coded message to all commands, Hayes ordered. When the aliens arrive, let them think they're winning. Let them think Earth is defenseless. Let them come close. He paused, looking at the approaching fleet on the main display. And then we'll show them exactly what humanity can do. Outside, the sun set on a seemingly normal Earth. But beneath the surface, in secret bases and hidden bunkers, humanity was ready for the greatest battle in its history. The trap was set. Now they just had to wait. Commander Miller watched from Luna Base as the alien ships entered the solar system. On his screens, the massive vessels looked like dark shadows against the stars, moving with frightening precision. First contact in 5 minutes, the sensor operator announced. The room was silent except for the soft beeping of equipment. The aliens' first transmission came exactly as expected. Their holographic message appeared in the center of Luna Base's command room, showing a tall figure hidden beneath flowing robes. Primitive species of Earth, the alien spoke in perfect English. We see you have received our message. Your silence is taken as resistance. Prepare for immediate pacification. Miller kept his face carefully neutral. Behind him, his crew pretended to look scared and confused, playing their roles perfectly. Earth had planned this moment for decades. Please, Miller said, making his voice shake slightly. We are a peaceful species. We only just reached our moon. We pose no threat to you. On his hidden screen, he watched as Earth's real defenses tracked every alien ship. The enemy fleet was massive. Over 1,000 ships arranged in attack formation, just as their intelligence had predicted. Your resources are now property of the Greater Galaxy Alliance, the alien announced. Surrender and be relocated or face extinction. You have 1 Earth hour to decide. The hologram vanished. Miller allowed himself a small smile. They hadn't even bothered to scan for hidden defenses. Their arrogance was exactly what humanity had counted on. Sir, his communications officer called out, the alien fleet is launching scout ships. They're heading for our decoy satellites. On the main screen, small alien vessels approach Earth's obvious defense systems, old-style satellites, and primitive weapon platforms that had been placed there specifically to be found. Let them destroy the decoys, Miller ordered. Make it look good. The alien scouts opened fire. Explosions lit up Earth's orbit as they destroyed the outdated equipment. To them, it must have looked like Earth's best defenses being swept aside effortlessly. In reality, humanity's true defense grid remained completely hidden. Quantum-cloaked satellites tracked every alien movement. Stealth weapon platforms waited silently among the asteroids. The massive drone swarms stayed dormant, disguised as space debris. Sir, they're moving toward the Mars Research Station, another operator reported. Miller nodded. Colonel Roberts had prepared for this. The Mars base they would find was just a shell, a simple research outpost with basic technology. The real Mars Base Alpha, with its massive underground complex and advanced weapons, remained undetected beneath the surface. They're scanning Earth's surface, the sensor operator announced, reading only civilian infrastructure and basic military bases. Everything was going according to plan. The aliens saw exactly what humanity wanted them to see, a primitive civilization with minimal defenses. They couldn't detect the quantum shields protecting every major city, or the enormous underground shelters housing Earth's population. Alien Commander is requesting another communication. Sir. Miller straightened his uniform. Put them through. The hologram appeared again. This time the alien's voice carried a tone of smugness. Your defenses are inadequate. We have destroyed your satellite network with minimal effort. Surrender now and save your people from unnecessary suffering. Miller pretended to look defeated. Please, we need time to evacuate our cities. You have 30 minutes, the alien commander declared. Then we begin our assault. As the hologram disappeared, Miller's crew maintained their act for a few more minutes, making sure the aliens could still monitor them. Then he pressed a hidden button on his console, activating the secure channel to Earth Defense Command. They took the bait, he reported. Complete success. They think we're helpless. Captain Hayes' voice came back clear and confident. Excellent work, Commander. Continue monitoring their movements. Let them think they've won before they even started fighting. Miller looked out his window at the alien ships now visible against Earth's bright surface. They were moving into attack position, probably already celebrating their easy victory. They had no idea they were flying straight into humanity's trap. Poor bastards, Miller said quietly. They really should have looked closer. The real battle was about to begin, and only one side knew it was coming. The alien fleet hung over Earth like storm clouds, their massive ships blocking out the stars. In Earth's Defense Command Center, Captain Hayes watched calmly as the enemy moved into their final attack position. Sir, his tactical officer reported, they're launching their first wave. 500 attack ships, heading for major cities. Hayes checked the time. Everything was perfectly on schedule. Let them get closer, he ordered. Wait for my signal. Around the world, people huddled in the underground shelters, believing they were part of a drill. Above them, the alien ships entered the atmosphere, their weapons charged and ready. The alien commander's voice boomed across all frequencies. Your time has expired. Prepare for planetary pacification. The first alien shots fired, heading straight for New York, London, Tokyo, and other major cities. They expected to see devastation. Instead, their weapons splashed harmlessly against invisible barriers. Now, Hayes commanded, show them what humanity can really do. Across Earth, quantum shields shimmed into visibility, surrounding every city in domes of pure energy. In orbit, thousands of hidden satellites dropped their cloaking fields. Among the asteroids, weapon platforms that looked like simple rocks revealed their true nature. By the stars, the alien commander's voice showed real fear for the first time. What is this? This, Hayes responded, finally breaking radio silence, is humanity's real defense system. You really should have scanned more carefully. He pressed a button on his command console. Colonel Roberts, you may launch the Mars fleet. The surface of Mars seemed to crack open as hundreds of stealth ships rose from hidden bases. They were dark, sleek, and more advanced than anything the aliens had seen before. Dr. Walker, Hayes continued, activate Project Guardian. In the asteroid belt, millions of pieces of supposed space debris suddenly came to life. The drone swarms formed into massive attack formations, their collective power greater than the entire alien fleet. The alien commander's voice cracked with disbelief. Impossible. Your species is primitive. We watched you for decades. No, Hayes replied calmly. You watched what we wanted you to see. For 30 years, you observed a carefully crafted illusion. Now observe reality. He gave the final command. All units, engage. The battle was unlike anything in human history. The quantum shields easily absorbed alien weapons, while Earth's true defenses struck back with overwhelming force. The drone swarms moved like schools of fish, flowing around enemy ships and tearing them apart. From Mars, Colonel Roberts' stealth fleet attacked from behind, their advanced weapons cutting through alien shields like paper. The enemy ships tried to retreat, but found themselves caught in a trap decades in the making. Sir, Hayes' tactical officer reported with a hint of awe. We're reading multiple alien ships attempting to surrender. The alien commander's voice returned, now desperate. Please, we yield. We didn't know. That was the point, Hayes responded. You came here thinking you found an easy target. Instead, you found a species that has been preparing for this moment for 30 years. On his tactical display, Hayes watched as more alien ships surrendered. Some tried to flee but were quickly caught by the drone swarms. A few fought to the end, only to discover that humanity's weapons were far superior to their own. In just under an hour, the greatest invasion fleet the galaxy had ever seen was reduced to floating debris and captured vessels. Damage report, Hayes called out. Minimal, sir. The quantum shields held perfectly. No civilian casualties. Some minor damage to our decoy defenses, but all real systems are operating at full capacity. Hayes nodded, satisfied. Decades of preparation, billions spent on secret technology, and countless hours of training had paid off perfectly. Earth had not just survived, it had won decisively. Sir, his communications officer called out, we're detecting multiple transmissions from the captured alien ships. They're begging for mercy. Hayes looked at the main screen, where the remains of the alien fleet floated helplessly in space. Tell them their surrender is accepted, and prepare to send a message to their homeworld. It was time to let the galaxy know that humanity was not to be underestimated ever again. 3 days after the battle, Earth's Unified Defense Council gathered in their underground chamber. The room's massive screens showed the aftermath of their victory, captured alien ships, surrender negotiations, and the cleanup of space debris. Captain Hayes stood at the main podium, presenting his final report. The enemy fleet has been completely neutralized. We've captured 342 ships intact, with over 10,000 alien prisoners. The rest were either destroyed or escaped. And what about the escapees? Council Chairman Davis asked. Exactly 12 ships escaped, sir, Hayes replied with a slight smile. Precisely the number we plan to let go. The chairman nodded approvingly. A military victory wasn't enough. They needed to send a message to the entire galaxy. Those 12 ships would carry that message better than any transmission. Dr. Walker stepped forward next, his analysis ready. We've learned much from the captured alien databases. The Greater Galaxy Alliance has conquered 15 civilizations in the past century. Earth was supposed to be number 16. Was supposed to be, Miller added from his seat. Instead, we just destroyed their largest invasion fleet in less than 2 hours. The room fell silent as Chairman Davis stood up. Then it's time for Phase 2. Captain Hayes, is the broadcast ready? Hayes nodded and pressed a button on his console. On the main screen, Earth's message to the galaxy appeared, translated into every alien language they had discovered. To all spacefaring civilizations, we are humanity of Earth. For decades, we watched as you watched us. We saw your probes, detected your scanners, and understood your intentions. While you thought you observed a primitive species, we prepared. Today, we destroyed an invasion fleet that had never known defeat. We did this not because we seek war, but because we will never accept threats against our world. To those who would come in peace, we welcome you as friends and equals. To those who would come as conquerors, the fleet we destroyed was not our best effort. It was our warning shot. We have watched. We have prepared. We are ready. This is the only warning you will receive. Humanity. As the message was broadcast across all frequencies, data from the alien databases showed it reaching thousands of worlds. The 12 escaped ships were already spreading news of Earth's victory through the galaxy. What about the prisoners? Someone asked. They'll be treated fairly, Hayes answered. In fact, we plan to release most of them. Let them tell their people what they saw here. Let them describe how completely we outmatched their best technology. Dr. Walker's console beeped with incoming data. Sir, we're already getting responses from other civilizations. Many are requesting diplomatic relations. Of course they are, Miller said with a laugh. Nothing earns respect like defeating an undefeated enemy. The chairman raised his hand for attention. And the public. It's time to tell them the truth. Hayes nodded toward one of the screens, showing news broadcasts from around the world. People were emerging from the shelters to find their cities untouched, protected by technology they never knew existed. The truth was already spreading. Humanity had not just survived an alien invasion. They had been ready for it all along. There's something else, Dr. Walker added, studying his data. The Alliance's former vassal worlds. They're declaring independence. Our victory showed them the Alliance isn't invincible. Good, the chairman said. It's time for a new order in the galaxy, one based on mutual respect, not conquest. Outside the council chamber, the sun rose over a changed Earth. In cities around the world, quantum shields glimmered visibly now, no longer hidden. Secret bases opened their doors, revealing technology that would revolutionize human society. The 30-year masquerade was finally over. In orbit, Earth's true space fleet patrolled proudly. Robot drones rebuilt damaged satellites, while captured alien ships were studied by eager scientists. Humanity had not just survived, they had announced their presence to the galaxy in a way that would never be forgotten. So what now? Miller asked quietly. Hayes looked at the star map, now filled with potential allies and trading partners instead of threats. Now we do what humanity does best, he answered. We explore, we learn, we grow. But this time, he smiled as a diplomatic transmission arrived from a distant civilization. This time we do it as one of the most powerful species in the galaxy. The end.